Welcome back to the Gallop. My name is Ty Soria, and I am here with Jonathan Z and Oliver Marburg. We're back at it again for the second week in a row, but this time we have an amazing guest with us today, and it's Peanut Garza himself, Alejandro Garza. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
My name is Alejandro Garza, but I go by Peanut to the team and to all you guys. I'm the starting third baseman for Cal Poly, and glad to be here with you guys. Thank you, guys.
Good to have you on, man.
First off, just like I want to get to know you a little bit better. Why do you go by Peanut Garza?
So there's two stories. The first one's actually the real one. It started before I was born, when my mom was pregnant with me, and my dad saw the ultrasound. I looked like a real little peanut. You know, I was always going to be a small guy, so that's the real story. But what I usually tell people, and it makes a lot more sense, is I've been playing baseball for a long time, and I've always been the smallest guy on the team, so I just got the name Peanut, but it stuck with me my whole life. I didn't really think it was going to get carried on to Cal Poly, but it has, and I like it.
That's fire. And you got the chains on right now. You got the chain on the hat.
Yeah, man.
Have you always been wearing chains on the field? Because on the field, man, you got a few more on.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just my style. That's something that I've always had a piece of jewelry on me since I was really little. All of my family does. Little brother, older brother, my mom, my dad, my nana, everybody. So that's just my personality, and so I love putting that stuff on, and it's what's hot right now in baseball too, so a lot of people love watching me play. They love what I wear and stuff, and just makes it that much more fun,
Yeah, 100%.
How did you decide specifically on the gold chain?
Well, this one was a gift. This one was a gift from my parents, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but I usually wear a different color necklace when I'm playing. It just matches whatever we're wearing, or what color turtleneck I'm wearing, or something like that. Whatever, shines the best. So that's how I decide on that.
Yeah, and is that inspiration? Do your family members also wear chains?
Yeah. My little brother, I'm as big as he looks up to me a lot. So my little brother's a junior in high school right now, and he wears a whole bunch of different colors too with his high school, and and I have little cousins that love watching me play, and they get the fake ones too, just to match who I am. So I know I'm doing something right, just trying to be an inspiration to people as much as I can.
Do kids ever bring that up? Because I know after the game, you guys are always signing autographs, and the kids are just yelling at you. Do kids ever bring that up to you?
Oh, yeah. I'll have kids right there. Can I have your necklace? Can I have your cleats, man? No, but they always tell me, and I love, playing baseball for the kids, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's I believe the way I play, the style I play, would want people to play baseball, a little more kids to play baseball. Yeah. So I love talking to kids about baseball, and they always love that I wear all that stuff, and they ask me where you get it at and stuff like that, and then their mom is right there looking it up and everything. Yeah, but no, man, it's cool. I love what I do.
And also there's more than just the chains to it. You also have, I think the most flair on the team. We've seen some videos of you doing a bat flip. Is there any player, at least in the MLB, that you look up to, or you try to replicate that style?
Yeah. So growing up, my favorite baseball player was Robinson Cano, and at that time he was the second baseman for the New York Yankees, and I'm a Yankees fan, and so jewelry and all that kind of stuff wasn't given to the players to do, but now you have guys like Jazz Chisholm, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, those guys are really taking up a big spot in the flair sort of aspect of the game. But I'd say Robinson Cano was when I first started playing. I was like, man, I want to be like that guy. That guy's, solid. And then when he went over to the Mariners is when he started going a little bit more colors. Yoenis Cespedes with his colors too. So that it's always been something that I have done since a very young age. So I'm glad that Coach Lee and all our other coaches give us the opportunity to do stuff like that. So
yeah, it's interesting. And so you kind of have the new school flair, but Coach Lee kind of described you before the season saying you have an old school approach, and he's I think he called you a 1960s player at the plate.
Yeah.
How would you describe your approach at the plate? I mean, you're batting 360 right now, just 6th in the Big West. So how would you describe that? You don't strike out too much, and so Yeah, how is that? Has that always been your approach and always been how you've been a hitter at the plate, or?
Yeah. I mean, where I come from is, I always had to work at where I'm at right now, So my dad's always been my coach my whole life. My uncle's been my coach my whole life. And, they've always just instilled in me that I got to do above and beyond to, get where I'm at today. So that part of, being a tough out, making sure, like, this pitcher's not going to beat me, whoever they bring in out of the bullpen, if it's a sidearmer, if it's a lefty, if it's a righty, that this guy's not going to get me out. And if he does, it's going to be an out that he's going to remember. So that's the kind of mentality that I go into the box with. And I know that's something Coach Lee says that is an old school part about me, which is cool, So I like that.
Yeah, speaking of your dad, you said you played for him your entire career. You played for him. What was it like playing for him at Highland High School?
It was awesome. I mean, even before Highland High School, my dad was my travel ball coach, So coming to college and not playing for him, it was a little different. It was a different style of coaching. But I love playing for my dad, man. I mean, he knows what's best for me. He's a kid, So, but I love playing for my dad. It was that tough love that he gave me, and I think that's what makes me strong now. That's what makes me, tough at the plate, tough in defense. So I love playing for my dad.
Do you notice any, like, similarities between, like, him and Coach Lee, like, coaching-wise or just personality-wise?
Yeah. The biggest difference, my dad was a big yeller. Coach Lee's not the yeller type. He's on the older side, so he's kind of more mellow, but he gets his point across.
Oh, yeah.
But the similarities, I'd say, the practices. I love going to practice, man. I love going to practices. I love the way he schedules his practice. I love the way that it's intense. Even like we got practice later on today, and we leave tomorrow, and it's going to be a high intense practice no matter what we're doing. And I remember, like, I'm a coach's kid growing up, so I couldn't just, like, half-ass it or do anything like that because, my dad was the coach. If anything happens, then it's just going to go back to him. So now that I'm playing for Coach Lee, the practices are similar like that, and I get to go 100% practice, and then that ultimately leads to the game.
Does your brother like it too?
Yeah. I mean, my brother's more on he'll talk back a little bit more side of it. But, I mean, my little brother, I just got done seeing him this last weekend. We played in Bakersfield. So Coach Lee let me stay an extra day in Bakersfield, actually. And I got a lift in because we have to come back and lift. So I got a lift back in Bakersfield, but I got to watch my little brother play. So that was pretty cool, his high school game. So he's always coming watching me play. So least I can do is go watch him play.
That's awesome.
Do you remember how he did?
They ended up losing the game, but he had a couple knocks too up the middle, just like how I do it. Just stay low, low line drives. But he's left-handed, so he's left-handed hitter, left-handed thrower. Yeah, I love that guy.
Play outfield then, or?
Yeah, he plays a little bit outfield. But he's more of like a first base pitcher.
Okay,
so
pitcher.
I didn't get to see him pitch, but supposedly he's going to pitch today. So I'll get to talk to him after the game and see how that goes.
You pitched in high school too, right?
I did.
Did you? Coach Lee is a big two-way player guy. Did you guys ever have that conversation?
Oh, no, not at all. Our pitching coach, Coach Moore, I always, joke with him out in practice. I'm like, man, if you ever need somebody, I got you. You can see my high school numbers. But no, when I got recruited, it was just strictly for being an infielder and being a hitter. So that's what it was.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, maybe like if you're up like 20 or something, they'll put you in like Kike Hernandez.
Yeah,
you throw like a rainbow ball.
Yeah, just like all the other position players that get to pitch in the major leagues. That's cool. I think it's cool for the game, but I mean, it is what it is.
Do you think like your success as a pitcher kind of helped you, like with hitting, or maybe vice versa?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, when I was a pitcher in high school, I mean, I would pitch a lot. And I mean, I'm not a pitcher now, but at least like when I was pitching at the time, it was like, okay, this guy has this sort of swing. I got to go, I got to pitch this pitch a little bit more than this one. So now when I'm up there and the certain guy's throwing like a certain pitch, like a sinker or like a ride fastball, then I know, okay, if he's throwing a sinker, he's not going to throw nothing up because everything is sinking. So I get up closer to the plate. I drop my hands a little lower so I can get to the ball a little bit more. And as a pitcher, it's like if you're throwing it like that, then they're going to figure out something to beat you. So that's what I'm doing now as a hitter.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. Yeah, because you start to learn what their approach would be based on what your approach was. Yeah,
exactly.
Tell me more about because you guys have like scouting reports on all these pitchers. How much time do you take to like study like their pitches or like watch film or something?
Yeah. So we have a great coaching staff. I think it's a great balance of old school and new school. Like, for instance, Coach Lee won his 700 game last weekend. Like, I don't even think I've played 700 games in my whole career, and he's got that many wins.
That's crazy.
But his style of coaching, and then our younger coaches like Logan Denholm, and then Army, Armstrong, Nick Mayer, they're all like a couple years older than us, so they're all in the analytics part of it. And Logan does a phenomenal job on watching film on the pitchers, and then he breaks it down to the T for us. And our scouting reports are really, really detailed on every single pitcher that we face. So we have charts on them. We have charts on where he likes to pitch to right-handed hitters, where he likes to throw in certain counts, what he likes to throw with runners in scoring position, like to the T. And, just having that in your back pocket, and as a hitter, it just makes it that much more, not necessarily easier, but you're going up there with a little bit more confidence, knowing that you have all this knowledge on the pitcher before you even face him. So that having that, and coaches like Logan and Coach Lee and Coach Gill and all these coaches that spend so much time for the hitters meetings is what we do before the games. It's just awesome. Makes everybody better.
Yeah, and has that changed at all since last year? I mean, your guys' offense has improved so much, and all these guys like stepping up.
Yeah, I think just last year compared to this year, I think this year just everybody has bought in onto the approach of that specific pitcher. Because we'll watch film on pitchers that are really, really good and some that aren't as good. But and for us to be successful as a team, we really have to stick to that approach for that specific pitcher. So I think this year, this team that we have, to answer your question, I think what has made us a better offense is we've been sticking to that one approach that all our coaches have given for us. If that's getting on the plate to make them feel more uncomfortable, or if that's taking a little bit more pitches to drive up his pitch count. So stuff like that, I think we're working more as an offense rather than just being individuals is what has made us a better offense overall.
Did you have that kind of expectation going into this year? Because it was, you guys lost a lot of key guys, York, Steele, Stafford, a lot of guys up the middle,
right.
And then obviously some key pitchers as well. But guys like a lot of the freshmen have stepped up.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of, Boogie has, stepped in for the starting center fielding job.
Yeah.
Did you kind of expect this team the offense to be this good, or was this kind of a pleasant surprise for you?
At the beginning of the year, it was for sure a surprise. Because, we got beat pretty bad in the beginning of the year. Pretty much embarrassed. That's what coaches kind of told us. It was kind of embarrassing. But, at the beginning of the year, obviously you think, like, man, this guy, he's our shortstop. He's our center fielder. He's our catcher. He batted in this spot. Who's going to take over for him? And then with the new recruiting class coming in and then the transfer portal and all that, you don't know what everybody's going to bring to the table. So and then when we had inner squads, you're like kind of putting it together like, okay, this guy can play here, this guy can do this guy can do that. And then you don't really know until you start playing. Yeah. And then when we got beat pretty badly, it was kind of like, okay, like we kind of need to figure it out. But what we're doing right now and with the guys that stepped up, like you said, the freshmen, it's just fun to be a part of. And just to know that we have those guys for 2, 3, 4 more years, it's just like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun.
It is going to be fun.
Yeah, talk a little bit because, the UCLA series, I think, is probably one you would like to forget as a team. But then you go on the road to Texas A&M and you take a game off of the then number one team. What kind of can you describe the, I guess, kind of feeling around the clubhouse like after that win?
Yeah, so, the feeling after we got beat by UCLA at their place was kind of just like the season just started and it felt like we were about 50 games in. Like we got beat that bad, and we had no choice but to go up. That's how we saw it as a team, So when it came to that Texas A&M series, we saw it as a team like, we got beat bad, but, that's the lowest we can go. The only way is up. So when we went to A&M, man, it was cold, real cold when we played them, and they were dealing with it too, and it was bad. But, and then we just kind of just found it within ourselves to like, hey, you know what? Like, let's just go out there and play the game of baseball. We're not playing against Texas A&M. We're playing against the game of baseball. They're going to throw it. We got to hit it. We're going to hit it. They're going to catch it. They're going to catch it. They still got to throw it. So we just, broke it down to simple stuff. And to get a game against them, it was huge. It was real huge. And I think from then on, that's when we started going, right? When we started going after that win against A&M.
Went home to Seton Hall, and then, you guys were off.
So that one big win, and then once everyone kind of realized, like, we just beat the number 1 team in the nation at their place. It was like, this is what we got. Now let's roll with it.
Yeah.
And then also, going into, actually, I want to turn it back a little bit. Just going to, like, before you got to Cal Poly, why did you decide to come here?
Yeah, so I mean, my recruiting story is a little weird. I wasn't a big recruit coming out. Cal Poly was my first and only offer out of high school, and I didn't get offered until my senior year of high school. So at that point, they were pretty much already, filled up with their recruiting class. And I think I was like one of the last ones that Coach Lee has recruited, because now that Brooks is in the pros and stuff like that during the summers, Coach Lee will go watch him play, and then we have coaches like Coach Gill and Seth Moyer and Logan that do the recruiting for Coach Lee. So, but at that time, they weren't all with us, so Coach Lee was still recruiting at the time I was a senior in high school. And when I got that call from Coach Lee, he saw me at a camp that I got invited to, and at that camp, I was like one of the only seniors in high school, because, I mean, at that point, it was like all the colleges have been filled up already. So, I mean, it was probably just going to be a junior college route for me. But I ended up going to that camp. Coach Lee really liked me, and then about 2 weeks later, I was probably playing in like a little tournament with my buddies in Fresno or Visalia or somewhere up north. And Coach Lee called me, and I didn't know who it was at first, and so I didn't answer it. And then he ended up texting me, telling me who he was. And he was Coach Lee from SLO, and he said he wants to talk to me. So right then and there, I called him right back. I called him right back, So, but no, and then talked to him over the phone, and this guy was really invested in me. And then about 2 weeks later, he invited me to the camps that they hold here at SLO, and I got to show what I had in front of the coaching staff. And later on that night, he gave me a scholarship over the phone. He said it was one of the last ones he had for seniors, or for that recruiting class. I graduated in 2023. So It was the last, like, bit of it that he gave to me, and, it was a blessing. So I took it, and I don't regret it.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. Like, yeah, because I know, like, looking at these recruits coming up, he's like, he got like a sophomore in high school. Like, these guys are getting recruited early.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just had to keep working hard, man. And it was just a blessing, that Coach Lee, saw me and gave me the opportunity to come here and play here. And, I don't doubt coming here, and I love it here, man.
Yeah. What, like, when he called you, like, what did he tell you? Like, what did he see in you?
Well, at first he said that he really liked my hitting tool. He said that I had a real good short swing, and that he looked at my numbers, and I think he said something I didn't even know. He said I only struck out maybe like 7 or 8 times in my 4 years of high school. So, I mean, that's something he told me, and I was like, wow, like this guy really, dug deep into my stats and, really wanted to know who I was. But that phone call that he called me, it was about a good hour 15 talk that we had, and he wanted to know, like, not just only baseball, but about my family and where we came from, how am I in the classroom, what I like to do outside of baseball, that kind of stuff. But, I mean, this guy was really, really invested in me compared to, like, someone that's just like, oh, you're a good player, like, we want you to come to our school. Is it a yes or no? He really invested his time into what he was doing. And then, yeah, man, I'm just so thankful that this has happened, and I'm going in the right direction, and I don't regret it.
Remind me, did you start game 1 as a freshman at third?
I did, but I started at second base.
You're at second.
I started at second base. At that time, Fenn was hurt. I think it was with the hamstring. The hamstring, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was either his hamstring or he was still coming back from his labrum. But at that time, I started at second base. And then when he came back, that's when I sat a little bit.
Did you play third in high school?
I never played third base ever in my life.
Really?
Never in my life.
So what?
Maybe like in like a little tournament when I was younger, I'd play a couple innings, but like nothing competitively at third base.
Oh wow! So like, what was that like? Like did they I don't know how to say it, but like,
yeah, they're just like, because I was kind of thinking, because I'm a competitor, I want to play. I didn't come here just to sit the bench. I wanted to play. And you got to really face reality. Like, these guys are older than me, they're stronger than me, they're faster than me, all this kind of stuff. But what am I gonna do as an individual to play to help this team win? And at that time, they were scattering for third baseman, and I didn't know how to play third base. I was still really undersized, really skinny, not that great arm strength. And, you know, just one time at practice, Coach Lee was like, hey, can you play third base? I never played third base, but I was like, yeah, I can play third base. I can play third base. And then he was like, all right, go ahead. And then that next practice, I was in third base for all the drills, and I was going as hard as I could, man, to, you know, get it. And then once he gave me the opportunity to play third base, you know, I took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And then I bet he didn't know I have never played third base until I told him. But, you know, I had to do what I had to do to, you know, get in that lineup to help the team win.
Yeah, for sure.
What was that transition like going from short to third?
Yeah, I mean, it was different. You know, the feet work's different, the throws obviously further and stuff like that. But just like the ball gets on you way faster, way faster. So it's just all about footwork. As long as you can catch the ball with the right footwork and get them out at first base. So I mean, and I'm just glad that our coaching staff has played third base before. You know, Coach Gill, he's really worked with me at third base, and he grew up as a third baseman. So, you know, just working on little fundamentals with him, that's been my guy right there for third base. And, you know, just really, you know, buying into what he has for playing third base. Because, I mean, personally, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference because I've played shortstop, played second base, you know. I played up the middle, and I didn't really see third base as all that, you know, crazy. But then once you get up here to the Division I level and people are, you know, smacking the ball 110 miles an hour at you, you got to be able to stick your nose in and catch the ball, you know. But, you know, the feet work with Coach Gill and working with him a lot over the fall, as well as Coach Lee. And then you have guys like Brooks coming in the fall and working with me. And Brooks is third baseman for the Twins right now.
Yeah.
And he's getting coaching pointers from the pros.
Yeah.
And, you know, I work with him too in the fall about third base, like different feet work, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, just having those sort of people in my corner to help me out has been awesome for the transition.
Yeah, and you guys are first in the Big West in fielding percentage. I know, you know, it's kind of an old school way of looking at it, but I bet the analytics show that you guys are pretty dang good too.
Oh, yeah.
So, is that because of, would you say the coaching staff, and do you guys put a lot of emphasis on defense?
Yeah, 100%, because the way we see it as a team and from a coaching standpoint is, you know, pitching and defense is what keeps you in the game.
Yeah.
It can keep you in the game, and then you can win a game 1-0, but then you really won that game because of defense.
Yeah.
Like, so we really do take pride in our defense with the little drills from Coach Lee, from Gil, from, you know, everybody. All our coaching staff really emphasizes, you know, defense. So that's been awesome.
Yeah. And then speaking of good defenders, you have Nate Castion next to you. He's a great defender, a freshman shortstop.
Yeah.
What's it like playing next to him?
That guy's awesome, man. That guy's awesome. He came in as a freshman, and just to take a role that was like that not every freshman can just take over. You know, like our guy last year, Aaron Casillas, was a fifth-year senior, and he held it down. And for him to come in and just do what he has been doing, I mean, and lately he's been smoking the ball too. You know, so not only is he doing it defensively, but he's doing offensively too.
Yeah, he is.
You know, but no, just having that guy right there and just he's mature. He's real mature for how young he is, and me and him talk a lot on, you know, you got this ball, you got this side, I moved over this way. You know, just that little talk that you keep between pitches. But, you know, that guy's awesome. That guy's awesome. So glad to be playing next to him.
Is there any sort of like Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrews moments you guys have?
yeah, exactly. Because I know one of our coaches said the same thing, because I think we played out in LMU. It was our first win of the year this year. And, man, this guy had a pop-up, and I dropped it. Like, I couldn't see it. I just dropped it. And then from now on, it's been like, Nate, if it's close to me, you got it. And our whole entire team knows that. It's like, man, if it's on this side, Nate, you got it. You got it. So, but, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrews moments, yeah, for sure. I love that guy.
Yeah, also, like, when you came in, like, I think you're pretty much still, like, one of the only, like, Latino guys on the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, talk to me about, like, what is it like being one of the only Latino guys?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really notice it until about last year when, you know, they were telling me about it. And then this year, it's like, I'm the only guy, you know? So, I mean, that's just something that I wear on my chest, really. You know, that's just something that I always keep on going for. And when I come up to bat, I got a lot more people, you know, supporting me. And, you know, they love my Walkup songs and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, to know that I'm the only one going, or here at least, right now, is just something that's cool, and I'm glad to be that one person to keep going.
Yeah.
How do you choose those walk-up songs? I notice they rotate like every game. You have a new one like for each day of the week.
Yeah. So I mean, Friday's song is Player's Choice. That's what we usually do, and then Tuesday songs are usually the same as Fridays. And that song I picked. I've always had a Bad Bunny song. Even in high
la
school.
playa right now, right?
Yeah. And then like Saturday is 2000s R&B, hip hop. Mine last year was Pimp by 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And that one was cool. And then now it's Twist My Fingers by YG. So I mean, just like it's just I see him as like a personality trait. That's who I am. And then like Sunday is supposed to be classic rock, but I have a Spanish song.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like a Spanish rock song.
Yeah.
So that's how the music goes by.
And how does that work? Like, does someone come up to you and like ask what your songs are? Like, what is that process like?
Yeah, so I mean, at the beginning of the year, like they always give us the like document to fill out your
like a
walk-up
doc,
song.
okay.
Yeah, but like I always get like after the game when I go see my family or whoever there is there to watch me, and I always say hi, and I'm signing autographs for kids, or even like parents will come up to me and ask me what it is. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool to know that people are paying attention.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to take just a little break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about the rest of the season coming up and also the playoffs. All right, we're back still with Alejandro Garza, Peanut Garza himself on Instagram. But yeah, we've been talking about, his uprising, his journey to Cal Poly, and his career so far. But right now we're going to try to get into more of this season, Cal Poly baseball's expectations going into the Big West tournament. So just starting off, let's talk about the UCI series that happened a couple weeks ago. Tell me what it was like playing them.
Yeah, so I mean, they're a really, really good team. They're obviously, one of the best teams in the country. But that weekend, it was tough. We knew that they were going to come in with obviously we came in with the target on their back. At that time, we were number 1 in Big West, and they were number 2. Or was it the other way around?
No,
it was that
you
way.
had like a 1-game lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or tied or something.
But we knew that they were going to come in. They weren't just going to roll over for us. We knew that they were going to bring their A game, and they did. They have a really, mature pitching staff and mature coach that, called the right pitches at the right times. But just playing them, it was honestly fun. It was a dogfight. It was a real dogfight. And they could hit, they could play defense, they could pitch. Pretty much like what we could do. They just came out more on top. They came more ready to play than we did. But, I mean, good thing is we got the tournament. So hopefully we qualify for that tournament and we get them again.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like you guys should pretty much get in. I think at this point, 6 games left. Yeah, a lot of funny, well, not funny, a lot of weird stuff would have to happen. But kind of like, what's the mentality like kind of as the season starts to wind down and like this tournament is now all of a sudden like kind of looming? Like, what's that kind of the mentality like?
Yeah, so I mean, we're still seeing it as a game at a time. We can't just look past the opponents that we have, even though what the standings might show. These guys they're still playing for something. They're trying to spoil our opportunity to keep going. And we know that. So that we're just trying to take it one game at a time, one pitch at a time. But looking towards the tournament, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think it's the first time the Big West has had a tournament, right?
Yeah. First time for at least since like the 80s.
Yeah. And that's crazy because, I mean, we had a team that won 35 games last year, and we couldn't even make a postseason run because we didn't have a conference tournament. But now that we have a conference tournament, I mean, it really opens the door to see what team can get hot at the right time. And I know we've gotten beat up these last couple of weeks, but last week we went won in Bakersfield. We swept them, and then we won last night, and then we just got to keep it rolling. Hopefully we get hot at the right time, and we just got, like I said earlier, we got to take it one pitch, one inning, one game at a time.
So the general consensus around the clubhouse, you guys like the tournament just because you have a chance to play for a title instead of just
because I mean you look like teams out in the East Coast like there was teams that made a region that had less wins than us. Just because they won the conference tournament, or their RPI or whatever was higher or lower or something like that. I don't know, but like now that we have a conference tournament, now we can show like, okay, like you guys got us before or we got you guys before, but now it's like what team's hot at the right time. So I like that there's a tournament, and I'm sure a lot of the guys like that there's a tournament too. it gives us one more trip to go out too. So
Yeah.
to Fullerton, it's a cool place, and it's gonna be fun.
Me and John will probably be there covering you guys.
Okay,
so
cool.
We'll see you down there.
Hell yeah, yeah. Sounds good, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think the tournament format, it's more like, I guess it's more similar to high school now, right? Like CIF, wasn't it kind of just like one game elimination? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. For Highland or for high school, it was one game elimination. I think it was like 16 teams in a division, and then just like if you keep winning, you keep going. But once you lost, then you were done.
Yeah.
Is that how it is for the Big West tournament? I haven't looked at
Not this year, actually.
I haven't really.
It's
looked
a double
at
elimination. So it's
a double elimination. Okay.
Yeah, so 4 and 5 play the 4 and 5 play like the single elimination game, and then it's a 14 double elimination the rest of the way.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't really looked at the formatting and stuff like that, but no, that's pretty cool. Double elimination.
Do you think there will be like a change in like, because instead of playing, the 3 games on the weekend, like now you're playing 4, 5, maybe even 6 games, like in like basically back to back to back. Like, how do you think like that will kind of shake out? And you're also playing a different team every game.
Right. But I think the way we'll see it is like not only are we the ones playing it like that, but the other teams we're playing too is also doing that too. So I think it's going to be new for everybody. Because like how you said, we could play like 6 games like back to back to back to back against all different teams. So I think it'll be fun because I mean we've played doubleheaders before on long days, and then we've played the same team like 4 times. So I mean I think it's gonna be new for everybody, but I mean that's what makes it exciting. Now you can see how good you really are, how deep your bullpen is, how deep you are in depth and stuff like that for guys off the bench. So personally, I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah, and then I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of tough teams there, too.
Oh, yeah.
You see Irvine, it's like you guys will eventually have to try to topple them if you want to make it to the regional.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Like, I guess, like, those other – it's like if you play them, like, they're going to throw their best guys. So, like, if you do play against UC Irvine again, how do you think the team's going to approach it this time?
I think it'll just be the same as we approached them the last 3 games. I mean, it's still the game of baseball. They're still going to throw the same pitchers that we faced, and stuff like that. But I think it'll be more of like okay, you guys got us before. We're going to go back and get you again, or we're going to go back and try and get on top of you guys. But now what they're going to think is like, okay, we already got you guys, swept you guys at home. We already know what you guys got, stuff like that. But it's just a chess match. It's going to be fun for sure. So playing a team like that, it also shows like how really good the Big West is. Because like before with no conference tournament, they're just taking the same teams: Irvine, Santa Barbara, Fullerton, whoever finishes number 1, and then they go to the regional. But now that we have a tournament, there's going to be all 4. You said 5 teams. There's going to be five of the best Big West teams, and it's just going to be a dogfight. It's going to be fun. You get to play teams like Irvine and Santa Barbara, and hopefully Hawaii makes it. But like teams like that gave us some trouble. Hopefully we get to get them again.
You talk about like the chess match. Usually in college baseball, you don't get to see the same pitcher for a second game, at least starters wise. Like how do you think you'll adjust to like kind of what pitchers threw at you the first time, and how do you think they'll adjust to how you hit them the first time? Yeah,
so I mean, from a hitter standpoint, like you know in the back of your mind what pitch gets you out, what pitch is struggling for you. And then if that pitcher throws that sort of pitch, you know that they got it in their back pocket. So like if they got a really good slider, if they got a really good curveball, you really just got to keep it in your back pocket. But I don't think the approach and stuff like that will change. It'll just be more of like, okay, this guy's got this, but I'm still going to be waiting for my pitch that I'm looking for.
Definitely, yeah. And then it's kind of unrelated, but it kind of popped in my head. Besides Bakersfield, because I assume this would be your pick, what's your favorite place to play on the road?
Man, I would have to say Fullerton.
Really?
Fullerton last year, I mean, I did pretty well. And like off-topic baseball, we stayed across the street from a Wingstop.
Oh.
I know
perfect.
it's really off topic, but I love Wingstop. I love Wingstop. Too. So like we stayed right across the street from Wingstop, and they give us per diem for the weekend, like to spend on food, and I spent all of it on Wingstop. So, but no, on the road it had to be Fullerton, or Hawaii was pretty cool. Hawaii is pretty cool, but
oh yeah, I bet
Hawaii was pretty cool, but I would have to say Fullerton just because I probably did the best there, and plus they had the Wingstop right next to the hotel.
What's the Wingstop order?
Oh man, it changes. I could eat, but I mean, for the cheapest, I'd probably just do like a 10-piece traditional wings. I have to get half lemon pepper, and then the other 5 switches. So
Try the mango habanero.
I'm not really big into the sweet stuff like that. I'm more of a spicy guy.
It is spicy.
Is it? All right, then I might have to get it soon
sweet
and try
and
it.
then spicy.
I might have to get it soon and try it, dude. But I usually go like original hot or like Louisiana rub or something like that with the fries and the drink. But yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's one of the best parts of baseball, right? Like traveling with the team.
Oh yeah,
getting those team meals before after games.
Yeah,
like,
and then you get to be on the bus with all those guys and then play Mafia on the bus, and it's awesome, man. It just makes that bus ride that much more fun, man. Love traveling with the guys.
What's your best story from this year, road trip wise?
Oh man, well, I mean, it was pretty cool that I got to go back home to Bakersfield because I got to stay with my family the whole weekend. But in terms of a team aspect, it probably had to be Long Beach on the road. We swept them, and just to know that how much we overcame that series. Because I mean, that Friday night game we played at like almost 8 p.m. because it was raining all day. It was the field was barely good enough to play, and that bus right there was awesome. We were playing Mafia for that whole 5-6 hour drive that we were playing. But no, I think just that whole entire series was awesome just because we went to their place and they're a really good team. I mean, I probably won't show on the standings, but they're a really good team. But they can hit, they can pitch, they played really good defense against us. But I think that Long Beach series was probably the best one this weekend or this year because in terms of like the going there and sweeping them, and then the bus ride there, the bus ride back, the fans there. It was that field was awesome. So I would say the Long Beach State series was probably the best one this year.
Your catcher, Jack Collins transferred from there. Was there any dialogue about that when you guys were returning or not really?
I mean, I've talked to Jack a lot. He said he didn't really play a lot at Long Beach State, so he didn't really get that much. But he hit a homer. Yeah. He hit a homer there, and it was a moon shot there. And when he hit that, he gave it a little flip on the bat and ran the bases a little bit slower. But no, it's cool. Jack's a good guy, and glad he's on our team for sure. Glad he's on our team for sure. Yeah.
Wait, have you ever play MLB The Show?
Yeah, I play it all the time.
Did you see like Cal State Fullerton, like their field is on the show?
On the road to the show, when you can make your guy go to high school and then to college and then no, that's cool, man. That's cool.
We gotta get Cal Poly there.
Yeah, we gotta get Cal Poly there for sure. I would play that.
Yeah, Baggett Stadium is it's beautiful. You got the mountains in the background.
It's awesome. And that's like when people talk to me and like ask me back at home, like, how you like it at Cal Poly? I'm just like, man, it's awesome. You get to play at Baggett every day and stuff like that. Our field's awesome. The fans are awesome. And like last night, it was a Tuesday night, and we've played at some places that don't even have that many fans, and we got that amount on a Tuesday night. This place is a baseball town. It's awesome.
Speaking of other places you play, in the summer you've played for the Portland Pickles the past 2 years.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Man, it was really eye-opening after my senior year of high school. Because, I mean, I got there in Portland, and I sat a lot. And that was, like, one of my first times, like, really, like, I'm not going to play today. I'm not going to play tomorrow. I'm not going to play in 2 weeks. I didn't get that opportunity to play. So it was real eye-opening my first year. And then I got to play towards the end of the year and got my at-bats and stuff like that. And then I went back last year, and I was only there for a little bit. I ended up fracturing my thumb. But no, I mean, playing for them and playing for Coach Maggs, that guy out there, I mean, that guy's awesome. But just the fan bases in Portland was awesome. Just playing and just a different scenery, But in Portland, that place got packed and stuff like that. It was good baseball. Cool little place to go. And then you stay with host families, get to meet new people and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was cool playing in Portland the last 2 summers.
What's your plan this summer?
This year I'm going to the Cape Cod League out there in Boston. I'm playing for the Orleans Firebirds. So
nice.
So we'll see how this year goes with Cal Poly, and then whenever this is over with, hopefully not soon, but whenever this is done, then I'll head over to Orleans, Massachusetts, play in the Cape.
Sick.
That's so cool. And then I'm assuming after college, would you want to get drafted to the MLB?
Yeah, who wouldn't, man? I mean, that's been my dream my whole life, man. And I know playing here at this university, I mean, we got 4 or 5 guys drafted last year, and then 4 or 5 guys drafted the year before. And so, I mean, this place is just an awesome place to be if you want to get development and go somewhere after this. So, I mean, I feel like I'm in a great spot playing for the right coaches. and the coaches that will get me to where I want to get to, and that's obviously to get drafted and go play pro.
You're not eligible for another year, right? But
Yeah.
have you already had conversations with scouts and stuff like that? Or?
I just like the mutual introduction stuff
Yeah,
like
gotcha.
that, because I mean I won't be able. My draft eligible year is not until after my junior year, so but that's why I'm going to the Cape this year.
Yeah.
It's because the draft is in July for this year, so we'll have some guys on the draft board for our team this year. But once that's over with, then they'll start turning over to our class and stuff like that. And we got multiple guys on our team going to the Cape too. So
Yeah, you get a lot of exposure there too. Yeah.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a lot of people
It's gonna be
watching.
It's gonna be the best of the best guys from SEC, ACC, all those guys from out there. Best of the best to go. So I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to go out there and play and show what I got.
Yeah.
Is there like a team, like you could call your shot out of all the 30 teams? What team do you want to go to?
MLB teams?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Probably the Yankees.
Yeah, I'd probably say the Yankees because I mean I grew up watching them, but like, I mean at this point, I mean anywhere. I mean anywhere would be awesome just to get drafted, and that's been my dream my whole life, you know. And just to know that I still have the chance to get to that, you know, anywhere would be awesome. But if I were to choose, I would say the Yankees or any team on the West Coast. Just say somewhere close, and my family can go watch me play.
Yeah, I like that.
Alejandro Garza on the Gallop podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank
This
you guys
was
for having
super
me,
fun.
man. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, man, and hopefully we get to do this again soon.
Yeah, I mean we'll definitely be keeping track of Cal Poly baseball. Can't wait to see what you guys do the next couple series and the Big West Championship. Like that'll be amazing to watch.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun to play in, man. I again appreciate you guys for having me on here, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thanks for coming on, man.